Let's smoke. I don't know if I should stop doing the introduction. I don't know if I'm gonna have to quit smoking, man, because of this court stuff. They did tell me one time in court that I needed to quit, and then the other time they didn't. They didn't talk about it. They didn't say nothing. But I'm hoping that I can keep smoking because I don't got nothing else really to do with my time other than smoke and work out. And I can't get a job because I'm just incapable of doing that. I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. Because it's not as simple as putting out an application, because when I used to put out applications all the time, I would not get jobs. And do I really think I can, like someone like me can do a job? I don't know, man. Someone like me is just too crazy to get a job. Plus they drug tested jobs. Honestly, I don't know if smoking weed is good for me or bad for me. I don't know if this YouTube stuff is good for me or bad for me. But it's all I ever want to do with my time nowadays. It's like I don't want to do anything else with my time. My whole life, I've just been spending in my apartment making YouTube videos, hoping that one day it blows up. But it did blow up at one time, and it still didn't get any money. So even if it blew up, it would have to get to 1,000 subscribers again, and I had to restart this shit. All because I went crazy with myself on YouTube. Started showing my dick on YouTube and shit. When I did all that shit, because I was going crazy and posting all this crazy shit for views just to get 1,000 subscribers, and then so I could start making money from YouTube chats, because they would not donate to me on my Cash App. And so I thought, well, maybe if I get 1,000 subscribers, then there'll be like super chats and they can donate to me on there. I don't even know how that works. I don't even know. But I just seen on there, if you get to 1,000 subscribers, they unlock new features or something. So it's like, am I supposed to do that? Is that gonna make me money to survive? Because I don't know how to survive. I'm not somebody that knows how to do certain things. I know how to stay alive as far as if everything's already taken care of for me. Like, for instance, like in jail, I already had all the stuff necessary. They were giving me food and everything. And I wasn't having to do anything besides the push-ups and stuff. And so I could do all that shit, but for some reason I didn't want to be in there, even though they were feeding me, giving me food and all that shit. And in the mental hospital doing the same thing. And that would be the perfect place for me. Somewhere where I don't have to do anything besides do what I want to do. But then I couldn't make YouTube videos. That's the only thing. And I like making YouTube videos. And so, being here though, I have another good situation because my dad helps me. But what if I don't have that shit? What if I didn't have my dad? And that makes you think, like, how would I even do this shit? Would I just immediately snap into place and start doing what is necessary to survive? Or would I just allow myself to die? Starve to death because eventually I eat all my food. And if I don't have money, I can't buy food. Or become a thief. Like those other people that I met. That the questions keep coming up. Like what would happen if I did not have the support system I have in place? And I keep thinking, how am I supposed to do this? I can't pass drug tests because I'm smoking weed. And that's just another thing that would not get me to not get a job. Mainly, I have not been able to get a job. I did have a job in the past. I worked at Walmart. And I was able to do that at one point. And I was still getting high. That job was the only job that did not drug test that I found. But when I think about working, I just think it's just too much for me. I get stressed out really easily. Like, I have a lot of stress. And partly it was to do because I was drinking a lot of caffeine in the past. And I had to quit drinking caffeine. Like, today I'm not drinking any caffeine. Because I know every time I do, it makes me anxious. And it makes me not be able to sit still if I had to sit still when I'm in those court sessions and PS, but it gives me a bunch of anxiety. At first, I had to do all that shit because I was needing energy to just get up and to start doing stuff. But now it's like, I don't mind sleeping. I actually started liking sleep because when I sleep, I can get away from this world. I can escape into my dreams where I can have more control over my life. And I can do stuff. Like, I fought Chuck Norris in my dream. I don't know who won, though. I don't. And it was the young Chuck Norris, I think. I don't think it was him now. Not the old Chuck Norris, but the young Chuck Norris. And I wasn't putting much power in the punches because I'm so used to pulling my punches, man. When I was shadow box. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm not used to fighting. Because I've been shadow boxing for a long time. I at least landed the moves. And they got through. Yes, they got through. But they weren't doing much damage in the dream. And I don't know if it's because I'm supposed to not make damage, or if it was like sparring, if I was sparring him, or if we were actually fighting. I don't really know. So it's just like, I didn't know whether or not to put full force or not. And it's been so long since I've been in a fight. So I don't sometimes I don't know. You know, until I had that dream. I hadn't had an actual fight in a long time since that last fight that I was in. And believe me, I did win that fight. That fight I did win. That fight that I had to go to all this court shit, I won. But a lot of fights, like there was a fight even in a mental hospital where Randall punched me. And I just walked him down, dude. And he ran away from me, dog. I was gonna punch him, but I didn't. But like I said, I don't even know my own strength. I don't even know my own strength. I don't know what would happen if I punched someone. Last time I did, I actually was able to hurt people. I mean, it was enough for me to go to jail. So I know that I can do it. The whole reason I'm going to this court and shit and this jail stuff, I had to do all that shit in the mental hospitals. I had to do all that shit because I was fighting. And it makes you think, like, is any of this worth doing? Training, though, if I'm trained to do all that shit and I just do that shit, either way, it just means going back to jail. And what am I even doing all this shit for, man? Like, am I training to actually fight people, or what am I doing? Like, part of me thinks, like, what am I even supposed to film on YouTube? Because that's normally what I was filming, was that. And when I think about it, like, am I really supposed to fight people? Is that my mission? Is my mission to fight people? Because what if my mission is supposed to get a job? And I just don't, and I just keep ignoring that mission? Or is my mission just YouTube? I don't know. But if I don't have shit to post on YouTube, right, then what is the point of YouTube? Right? If there's nothing to really post, or if I have no stuff that I can post on here. Like, if I'm not doing the dance, boxing, shit, whatever I'm doing, what am I posting? See? That's what I'm saying. I have no choice but to do that shit. Because what am I even supposed to post on YouTube? I can't, like, when I post music, it's just really short clips. And no one presses a like on it. And I'm just wondering if anyone even likes it. And it's just like, what am I even doing on this shit? Am I making any progress in my life? Am I just a loser? And should I just quit YouTube? Should I just quit YouTube and just get a job? Because they might force me to do that in court either way. But I need to be on disability. And if they talk to me about it at court, I'm going to say I need to be on disability. Because I have a lot of anxiety. Like, I'm telling you, it's to the point where I can't get nothing done except for certain things that I want to do. And the only things I can do is push-ups and this training shit. This shit I've been doing for a while now. And some people think it's weird. Like, why is all he do is just this dancing and kicking and punching stuff on the wall? Like, people might think that's weird. And why I gave myself all these names and start pretending I can find people. It's like, I don't know. I went through this insanity, though. Like, I could not. Like things just started making me think that I was losing it. Like I thought that everyone was talking about me. I thought that everyone's out to get me, and like. And sometimes it might have been true. I don't know. But I just know I didn't like it in prison. But I still was able to do my training in prison. So I still did like it some. That I was able to get my training done in there. But how long would I be able to survive in there if I didn't get bailed out of there? What if somebody was out to get me in there? See what I'm saying? And it just makes you think, like, how did I survive that in the first place? And how did I get so lucky to even be in the position I am right now? Like, if I even get to smoke weed, that's luck. And that means I am lucky. Because how the hell did I even survive all that? You know, Like I'm very fortunate because most times I take for granted. Yeah, I'm in this position. I have my cat. I'm in my apartment. I have a girlfriend that loves me, and I just hope things can stay like that. But I don't know if it will, man. And that's what makes me so like depressed. Like, how am I supposed to even change? Well, how am I even supposed to make my life better, first of all, or how am I supposed to even have the life stay this way? I don't even want it to change. That's the thing. I don't want it to change. I want it to stay the way it is. Because if it stays the way it is, at least I get to keep the things that I have, like my girl and my cat. If it changes too much, that means it could be fucked up again, like being in jail and stuff. And I'm just saying, dude. And being in the mental hospital, I was in the mental hospital, so. But it doesn't seem so bad now that I think about it. When I was in the mental hospital, because I was getting fed food, and there's plenty of people that were nice to me in there that actually talked to me, like Thomas and what's his name, War. The guy named War was talking to me in there. And Bet. All these people were encouraging me. And it felt like I was in an environment that was positive for the most part. So like, I don't mind being in a mental hospitals too much. I just can't smoke in there, and that's all. But when I'm not smoking, am I the same person? Am I a better person when I'm not smoking? I don't know, because I was still going crazy even when I wasn't smoking. So it wasn't like, oh, smoking weed made me crazy. No, because I wasn't even smoking in the mental hospital. And for a while, I gave up weed. For like 30 days, I gave up weed. That's what my girlfriend said. She kept track of it. She was watching all YouTube videos where I wasn't smoking, where I had quit. And in that time, I went crazy. See, that's what happens when I get off of weed. When I get off of weed, I go crazy. And it's like I have to have weed. You understand? Like, and even if nothing changes, I would love that, actually, because things changing means I lose the things I have. Because if things totally change, it could mean losing the things I have. And I don't want to lose the things I have. I don't want to lose this apartment. I don't want to lose my girl. And I'm not saying like I can't get a job or something, but I feel like I can't do it. With all the other things I do, when it comes to this training stuff, I spend my whole damn day doing this shit. I swear I do. And I can't get myself to do anything else. My mind won't allow it. So I just do the same things over and over again. I can't get myself to do anything else. Once I get familiar with something, I just do it endlessly. And I sometimes I get bored of it, yes. I'm not gonna lie, it does get boring doing this training. I used to do a lot more of this shit. I used to get obsessed with it. I used to do thousands of reps of fucking handstand push-ups. And nowadays, I still do it, but I'm not as intense with it. I start sleeping a lot more. I started getting tired a lot more. I started wanting to not do anything. I started wanting to just chill out and just, take it easy with Kelly, because that makes me feel relaxed when I can be with somebody who loves me and I don't have to worry about doing shit all the time. Whereas when I'm worried about I got to get something done, and like going to getting a job is another thing I have to worry about. And I get really stressed when it comes to that. When it comes to my training, I also get stressed with that. Because I'm like, I have to get it done. Or if I don't get it done, I don't have anything to write on that folder when it comes to activities. And then they'll say, you didn't do anything. And then if I can't get past that, then I can't get past this court shit. And if I want to phase up and get out of this court shit, and I have to keep going to court, I have to pretty much fill out this sheet that says I'm doing activities. And I can't just say sleep. And I can't just say walk, because there's two fucking things you gotta fill out. Maybe I can say walk and sleep, but they might say that's too lazy. They might try to say that I gotta get a job or something, or I have to do something that's better than just walking back and forth. That's what I did all day yesterday. All day yesterday, I just walked back and forth. I didn't do anything else. I made that video and I walked back and forth for like hours. All I could do was pace and talk to myself. And talk myself through anxiety, having panic attacks. Because I don't know how to get anything else done besides walk. Or just train. That's all I know how to do. And make YouTube videos. Making YouTube videos and smoking weed, I love doing that. I've always loved doing that. And just talking to this camera. Because this is the only place I feel like I can talk about whatever. But yes, it does get me judged, yes. Talking about whatever. But I don't have anyone else to talk to right now. And Kelly, I don't know if she's asleep or she's awake or what she's doing right now. I don't want to bother her because she might be busy doing something. I could talk to her if she answers. Sometimes she does answer and I am able to talk to her, but sometimes I can't even talk to her. Sometimes my mind won't even allow me to talk to her and to speak what's on my mind. So even when it comes to her, I can't really speak my mind. Only on YouTube. Only on YouTube I can ever feel like I can speak my mind. For the most part. But when it comes to certain issues I can't speak about. Like, I can't talk too much about the sexual stuff I did in the past. Because I did a lot of sexual stuff, especially on YouTube. That's what got me banned from YouTube. Was posting my dick on YouTube. That was where I was at my craziest time. Where I was definitely thinking like everyone was talking about me and like everyone was, and maybe there was, but I don't even know because I don't have a lot of followers on X. Well, for some reason I thought everyone was talking about me. That's how crazy I went. And maybe there was a lot of people talking about me. I have no way to confirm it because I was just reading comments on Joker videos. And I got so obsessed with that shit that it made me think, they always say in the videos that everyone's talking about you. Everyone is, plotting against you. Everyone's doing this and that and that. And it gets you so, suspicious of everyone that you don't want to talk to anyone and that you want to close yourself off from the whole world. And I still got that shit in my feed, and I got to get rid of that shit. Because those videos, man, they make you fucking go crazy. They tell you all this shit about people like plotting against you and doing shit against you that you just think everyone's doing shit, and it gets you in the mental hospital because you start saying all that shit. That's crazy shit. I don't know what I was saying in the past. I watched like one of those videos, and it made some of it made sense, yes, But it was like, I don't know, I was in this fantasy world where I was in the gods, fighting all the gods, shadowboxing, right? And in that fantasy world, I was Raw. Because even this guy named Bell told me I was Raw in the mental hospital. He gave me that name. And once I got that name, I started going on this fantasy trip about gods. All because he gave me that name. Because he gave me the name Raw, I started doing research. Somehow, by doing shadowboxing, I got all this research and knowledge about what happened in the past. And got all his gods' names and fought all his gods. And somehow, they were talking all about this shit in the comments of these Joker videos. About all these gods. And somehow they had all these weird god names. And I took all these gods and I just fought them in the spirit realm. That's what I did. I was fighting them in the spirit realm. When you see it, stuff like that gets you locked up in mental hospitals. If cops see that, like that you're going on crazy trips, and then you're doing all this shadowboxing shit, and it's like part of people don't understand what that is. But some people do understand shadowboxing. Some people actually do shadowboxing. I've seen people do it on YouTube. But it's like a niche community, though. I don't see it all the time. I see dancing, yes. But when it comes to shadowboxing, it's like I don't see a lot of it on YouTube. I don't see that. Like, I'd be doing mainly that. And some people, they allow it. Like, they allowed it in the mental hospital. At some points, I was doing that shit, and they eventually realized I was just training. Once they realized I was just training, they stopped fucking with me. They stopped saying, oh, you got to take your pills or whatever. They stopped doing that. They stopped making me take pills. But the last day, they gave me a shot. And once they gave me a shot, I started getting tired. I stopped training as much. And it calmed down that mania. Eventually, I started coming to my senses. I'm like, okay, maybe was any of this shit real, or was I actually going through? Was this all actually happening? Was all this spiritual warfare happening, and I wasn't going crazy? And this one fucking girl was on my channel at one point, and she told me all this stuff about, about the Joker and all that shit, being right about certain things, and like how I was not going crazy, and this actually going on, because she was once my friend, but then she stopped being my friend, and I kept seeing her in those Joker videos talking. I don't know. My name was Rebecca Boob, and I don't know why the fuck her name is Boob. I don't know. Her name just needs to be changed, because I keep thinking about boobs when I think about that shit. But no, but that's what, I don't know. Maybe it's just Boobay. But either way. Well, that's pretty much all I need to say. Oh, let me take this another hit. I'm into crazy life, dog. I'm just isolation, having people over in my apartment, like living here, I've documented it all on YouTube, and it got deleted all because I wanted to get sexual. That's why I don't speak on that shit much anymore. Because even talking about that shit reminds me of all that past stuff that I used to do. That got me all the trolls. It got me banned from YouTube. I mean, even just talking about that stuff got them to make videos about that shit. And it got them to post that shit and be like, oh, hey, he's talking about this. And it's like, they always tried to fucking troll me for the stupidest shit. For me just talking about stuff that I'm dealing with. I'm not hurting anyone, dude. Even though I fought that one dude, I'm not doing anything violent to anyone right now. See, right now, people, like in this time of my life, I mean, I have been violent in the past. I'm not going to say I haven't been violent. I have fought people. Yes, I have fought people. But I don't want to make a habit of just necessarily fighting everyone, because that just ruins relationships. That makes people not like you for some reason, because you start shit with somebody and then everyone just stops wanting to have anything to do with you, because you're pretty much isolated. They're isolating me in this community. I don't have no friends in this community. It's because I'm not the same race as them, and they know it. They know I'm a different race. They know that I'm not someone the same as them. They know I'm different, and they isolated me. And it started all these fights from being so alone with myself and my thoughts, that I got into fights because I wanted to prove that I could fight, and I wanted to prove that I was strong. And it's all because of this YouTube shit. When I was posting stuff on, like, when I was posting stuff, I would get all these comments about, like, usually it was on lives. It wouldn't be as much on videos. On videos, I would have to fucking disable comments. I think there was at one point I had to disable comments because it got so bad. Because people would troll me so bad at that time. And I thank God that it stopped happening as much. Like, I don't have as much trolls anymore. And I thank God that the judge is not being so harsh on me right now. Even though I'm still smoking weed. Maybe it's because I'm not talking about crazy shit anymore. And I'm keeping my mouth shut on certain things that happen that I don't know whether or not it's true or not. Because there's so many things that happened when I was in those mental hospitals in jail that I don't understand. That I was tripping out even when I was in there. I don't know. I mean, was I tripping when I was saying that God was speaking to me? I don't know. Because God could have been speaking to me. He was saying that he was going to end the world when I was in there if I died. Like, he said that to me in prison. And is that true? Would God really say that if I died, that everyone would die? Because I was thinking I was Jesus Christ. And then this guy even said, confirmed to me, and I said confirm back when I was in prison. And we were in this room together, and he was like, he was sitting right next to me, and I started crying for some reason. And he said confirm, and I said confirm back. And what that made me think, I was Jesus Christ. Because he even said the stuff, the same thing that's said on YouTube, saying there's infinite levels to hell. And I even said that on my YouTube channel at one point. infinite levels of hell. Because I used to think that I was in hell, and then I was going infinite levels into hell just to rise back up to heaven. Being above, so below. Baphomet. I thought that I was Baphomet, right? I thought I was some god. And it's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to even post now? I post the same shit about that shit every fucking damn day, though. About some new god that I'm fighting. And I don't know how to stop doing that. Because that's the only thing I do on my channel. And is it bad to do that? Is it bad? Or is it a good thing that I'm doing that? Is it good that I'm just making this stuff up? And it just happens to be that they were talking about that in these chats. Every time I do that shit. I don't know. They were talking about a lot of these things in these chats. Back when I was doing that, when I first started doing that shit. Like when I had that Silent Hill arc. They were talking about that shit. They were talking about Silent Hill. Everywhere in the comments where I would see stuff about Silent Hill. And I don't know if what it does, what YouTube and social media does to a person, if it just means that if it's all about social media doing that, because social media can have something to do with it. I don't know. I mean, at least I'm getting active. At least I'm doing something with my time. But most people will say that's not being productive. But some people would say that at least that's getting exercise. There will be some people that say at least you're getting exercise and you're not necessarily hurting anyone by doing that shit, like by doing the shadow box and shit. At least I'm not going to jail, but I'm still making content for YouTube and having something to do with my time besides just walk back and forth or do push-ups and sit-ups. Because I had no choice but to start doing that shit because the push-ups started getting boring. Alright, so when I start making these videos where I'm dancing and shit and punching and doing this shit and fighting guys or something, or maybe I won't even, like I don't, either way, if I don't do that, if I don't post that I'm some god, find some god, there's no name for it, and it just goes up as unnamed video. You know, just have the date on it. And so, I don't know. Honestly, dude. What the fuck I'm doing with this channel, dude. But, damn, it's been 38 minutes. But it's just talking about stuff, helping me, yes. At least it helps me when I'm needing events. Because I don't have anyone really to talk to. Besides y'all, I don't have, besides Kelly and my dad, I don't have much people in my life to talk to. Those are the only people I have in my life. Kelly, my dad. And Sugar, of course. And I'm pretty much as isolated as you can get. I study myself so much because if I even go outside, I start getting anxiety. Like last time I was outside, I had anxiety. When I was at that movie theater, I had anxiety. It was a drive-in. Well, let me tell you about the story before I go. So I went to the drive-in with Kelly. And I was having anxiety right there. I was anxiety because I couldn't move. I had to sit still for a while. You know, I'm not used to sitting still. Like you see me pacing right now. I had to pace. Because pacing gets me exercise. And I have an addiction to exercise. That's my addiction. Well, either way, like I said, I'm in this place. We're watching the Michael Jackson movie. He's dancing. I'm wanting to dance. but I'm also having anxiety because I'm around all these people that are in the cars, and I can't get out and dance. I can't do my normal thing. I'm trying to dance in the car, sitting still, and it's hard to dance when you're sitting still. And for some reason, I have all this anxiety, and I still do some dances though. I start doing some dances. I start getting silly off of these pills. Right, I start taking these pills, these sleeping pills, and then I start getting silly. I know sometimes when I'm on these pills, I get silly because I'm also like tired. I'm tired and I'm wanting to sleep. In the process of going to sleep, I'm getting all silly in there. And the whole day I was being silly. I made this video that was just like completely insane. Just like this. But it was just fun. It's just to be funny. Because I was just in this silly mood the whole damn day. And then my day pretty much got ruined the next day when Kelly's car got hit. Once her car got hit, I was like, fuck. She's not going to want to come back here again now. And I can only see her when Sarah's gone. So, and like I have another addiction, which is her. This other addiction is her. Like I need to see her every day. It feels like I want to see her every day. That's how much she means to me. That's how much I don't want to be stuck with myself for too long. Because I know I'm going to go insane if I stay with myself too long. And she keeps me grounded. She helps me realize maybe I'm not Jesus. Maybe there is another Jesus and I'm supposed to pray to him because maybe I'm not somebody like that. Maybe I'm somebody else completely. I don't know. Some people might say that I am that. There's been people that have actually called me Jesus or Yahweh. I used to go by that in the mental hospital, and I got this one guy to even believe that I was Yahweh, and I told this other guy I was just Endurance, and I was some guy named Endurance. So I had people legitimately believe that was what I was in there because they called me those names. But there were some people that would be skeptics of that. And they say that I'm just completely insane, I'm delusional. There would be some people, but believe me, I'm in a mental hospital. So there's a lot of people that are probably crazy. If you're in a mental hospital, there are going to be some people that are crazy. So, and I was taking every word that I said as true, like the people that was there. And I was believing in them. I was believing that there was a guy that was in there, that was actually Jesus. And I was calling him War. Because his name was War. He said that was his name. And I said, and then at one point he even tried to convince me he was. Because I even said to him that he was Jesus at one point. And once I told him he was Jesus, he started actually calling himself that. And he almost got me to believe that he was. And I even was saying that in the fucking comments on my top, what is it called? You know, a place I used to put my scoreboard. And in the Joker videos, they were saying that. They were even saying that. Stuff about scoreboards, how I replaced my scoreboard for something else. And I did that, and I actually did. So there's so many things that was just making me feel like things were actually happening because they even said that in those videos. It was saying all this shit about how... Let me go to the desk with that, man. Like, things kept happening too much often that it made me think that I was actually some god. And I don't change that billboard either way, dude. That bio. That's what it's called, a bio. I don't change that bio either way. Because that captures the essence of my insanity, though. And how I can't have a job. Because if I'm going to start thinking that shit and being around people and thinking I'm some god, I can't be around people now. I can't. Especially if I have anxiety too. If I have all this anxiety too, on top of the fact that I'm thinking I'm some god and I have no idea if I am, I can't be around people. No, I can't. Because I even try to convince people that, and there's some people that actually believe me, and some people who didn't. Because they were all talking about the same shit as me at that time. Like, when I was talking about Superman, they started talking about Superman at the same time as me. And all the pyramid heads, they were talking about all the pyramid heads too, man. They were talking about Diamond Head, Red Head, and Blue Head. So I don't know, man. I was talking all about that shit, man. So whatever the fuck I was talking about, it was all happening at one point. I was all documenting all this shit. And it's all on my channel. About my insanity, though. About how somebody who's isolated so much can start thinking all this stuff's happening. And stuff actually starts feeling like it's happening. And you just don't know what's true anymore.